Hi there, welcome back to Apatros Review. In this episode, A Dangerous Man, directed by Keone Waxman in the year 2009. It's one of those Steven Seagal directed video films. Hi there, welcome back to Apatros Review. I'm your host, Milo Sipica, and join me as I take you on a ride through the wild world of science fiction action horror, all from my personal DVD collection. I got a pretty massive one, also a few Blu-rays, videotapes, TV shows, video games, and even a few books. Now in this episode we look at the film A Dangerous Man, directed by Keone Waxman, who's pretty much become Seagal's go-to director for the past decade or so. And it was released as a direct-to-video feature on the 28th of December 2009 in the UK, and then on the 9th of February 2010 in the US. Strange how it was released in the UK first. Now, A Dangerous Man is the second of a long string of collaborations between Steven Seagal and director Keone Waxman, who has become Seagal's go-to guy for directorial duties, given his apparent skills of handling some of the stout Sonsei's late 2000s, early 2010s direct-to-video catalogue. Here, Seagal plays Shane Daniels, a former US Special Forces veteran, not that again, who was jailed for a long time after the car thief he chased away after unwisely trying to carjack Shane's wife was found cut to ribbons. 6 years later, Shane is freed and compensated after Project Innocence managed to find flaws in the prosecution's case, and the murder weapon with the real killer's DNA found after he was captured and the DNA sample analysed. But in the meantime, his wife has left him for good. Given what will happen next in the film, it might not have been wise to convict him in the first place. After brutally beating up a couple of hustler fools and stealing a liquor shop's security videotape, to avoid being sent to the slammer again, Shane parks his car in a secluded spot, only to find himself stumbling onto an underworld operation between a Chinese drug dealer who was trying to retrieve an accountant who has decided to defect from the Chinese Communist Party's operations for a mysterious Chinese colonel, and the accountant's niece who is trying to save him from the CCP. To get the gist of the story in a single conversation exchange between Shane and the colonel. The colonel goes, "Who are you? What do you want?" Seagal goes, "Well, in the facilitating of your plans, you've inadvertently stepped onto my minefield. And to answer the second part of your question, I want you dead." That's pretty much the exchange they have in the climax. So pretty much Shane has decided to save the accountant and his niece from the colonel, and his cadre of corrupt local police officers with only the help of the local Russian Mafia, after Shane saves the son of a Russian mobster from the colonel's thugs. A Dangerous Man isn't a terribly great film, but is reasonably well handled, and while I consider it to be an average movie, in the genre of the Steven Seagal direct-to-video actioner, this is pretty much one of the better ones. The story doesn't have any of those stupid logic flaws that plagued some of the earliest Seagal direct-to-video actions, or any strange technical problems, like for example in the case of Driven to Kill, having the actress playing the mother being a year younger than the actress playing the daughter, instead being a reasonably competently written story about an embittered soldier who inadvertently steps into a criminal enterprise and purely by virtue of being there, decides to follow the villain's plans. In this role, Seagal performs rather well, and his excellent work ethic. These direct-to-video roles of Seagal's don't involve simply turning up to work for one day and reciting 5 or 10 lines. These have Seagal in a starring role, and Seagal, while not being as professional as he should be, I've heard stories about Seagal's strange antics on the set of some of his earlier films, such as, for example, leaving the production of Black Dawn halfway through, forcing the director to rewrite some of his fight scenes to involve others, always relying on the advice of a karma expert over the shop to work each day on the set of Half Past Dead. Sometimes being driven to go absent certain days. Bit of wind here. And while we were on the subject of the Half Past Dead, Seagal was actually sued by a German woman whose house he had used because he apparently damaged some parts of the house and even soiled some of the furniture. He at least goes through his roles competently enough, no matter how bad the material gets. This means that us fans of Seagal's performances at least get what we paid for the price of renting the DVD, that is. No way should these films ever be released to your local multiplex, that's for damn sure. In the opposite corner of the story, Baron Mann, one of Seagal's good friends, handles his role as a colonel with the same sort of professionalism, which is impressive given his role was only added at the very last minute. Oh, I'm shooting this outdoors, so there's a bit of wind shear. And the majority of his performance was actually improvised on the spot. The action scenes are well handled, since Keone Waxman has a flair for small-scale action, with some decent shootouts and hand-to-hand combat, the latter coming with a rather brutal nature that suits the approach of the film to a T. If you're a casual action fan, this won't be too impressive, but if you're a Steven Seagal fan who has been suffering from his dismal early output, A Dangerous Man is one that you'll be asking for. Now for the gore. There's some bullet wounds and crispy critters from explosions. Not substantially gory, although the material could have used more of it. And as for nudity, Aiden D who plays Shane's now divorced wife, appears topless during the flashbacks Shane has when he reads the Dear John letter she sent him. Boobs only. It is a dangerous proposition to give a dangerous man anything higher than a C, 4 out of 10, so I'll stick this one in the C category. Average action, I hook him to be sure. But Seagal's rather dismal post-millennial catalogue, this is pretty good by those low standards. Now, the film was released in Australia through Sony Pictures, and it pretty much follows the traits that all the films releases this film have around the world. I'm talking about British and also American releases and Canadian releases all have trailers, but not much of a supplement. So you pretty much be having the same situation if you get the British DVD or the American DVD or even the Blu-rays. Okay, that's it for this review. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I don't do review requests, but if you want to know if I have a particular film in my collection, just hit me up in the comment section, and I'll answer. Okay, I hope you enjoy yourselves, and that's it for this review.